Okay, good morning, class. I hope everyone's doing well. This is Tanisa Walcott, and I'll be presenting on chapter 16, Cartooning with a Feminist Twist. I really enjoyed this chapter, actually. Um, to start off, we're going to speak about mixing of old and new, and then also the political activists that were mixing old and new ones. So, to start off with the suffragist movement. It mixed with old and new women and their ideas. So this allowed an expansion of opportunities like higher education, access to certain professions, and egalitarian relationship between men and women. The energy that came from new women burst from traditional woman roles. So like the typical how we always see women to be like stay at home, cooking, cleaning, knitting, sewing, those things. And some women that we're going to be speaking about, Cora Smith, Ethan, Hazel McKay, Nina Allender, and Janet Rankin. Okay. And this is a quote, apart from the chapter 224, effectively coding traditional female values of motherhood and maternal concern while hitching them to women's new political roles. The cartoon reference the ideology that women are different from men and thus will bring a fresh perspective to public life. So that having that different view from men, it's like you can see that they can bring more to the table, which is good. So I like that part. And to the political cartooning. So also on page 224, if you can go there, I just took this part. Political cartooning by definition is an aggressive act. We can also think part at the side, like what exactly, or like have you ever seen a political cartoon, and how do you view political cartoons? Is there an aggressive act that you see coming from it? Is it always aggressive? Um, yeah. So women play the center role of the joke and cartoons, and tables turned for sexist cartoonists when Nina Allender took up her pen in support for women's suffrage. So Nina cartoons from the start was never to degrade men, but allowed the suffrage to pitch arguments to put like politicians and the public. It prevailed gender norms, and it was not going to like neglect in that process of the cartoon. And until 1910s, the political cartooning field male dominated. Thomas Nast was one of the cartoonists from the 19th century. Um, Politicians quickly realized the power of such images to sway voters and influence public opinion. And that's on page 225. And they mention that from during like that 19th century, that's what they realized that this cartooning was doing. Um, Different work with professional trained women artists. There are 3 dozen female cartoonists, 1870s. All right, and we get into Annie Lucasta, Lou Roger. Um, sure. All right. So published many suffrage cartoons in the newspaper and magazines. Magazines like Judges, the Women's Journal. Um, that's where most of her stuff was published. And she was born in 1879, Royal Maine, moved to Boston after a while, enrolled in Massachusetts Normal Art School, then moved to New York. She then joined being a cartoonist. She faced some sexism during the process. 1911, she turned her full attention towards like the suffrage movement. And if you look over here by Annie Cartoons, I put well, I'll just put two of her cartoons that they mentioned. So breaking into the human race, tearing off the bonds. Um, so pretty much here, propaganda that challenges status quo with a message and a image. That's what we see with these political cartoons. Um, and political cartoons also gives a sense of power, and that, according to Nina, because I have forgot to mention part Nina Allender, that's what she mentioned. It gives like a sense of power. And Blanche Ames was born in Lowell, Massachusetts, 1878. Um, she had a vibrant cartooning tradition. She embraced from Boston. She graduated early in 1899 from Smith College. In the 1900s, she got married to Harvard botanist Oakes Ames. They became partners. They worked together, um, and they collaborated on stuff. Um, let's see. And on the other side here, we see a cartoon that I got from the book. Meanwhile, they drown. And going to Nina Evans, parentheses Nina Allender, because after she got married, her last name changed, and that's how we started to know her by Nina Allender. Sorry. So she's a suffrage cartoonist, born on Christmas Day, in 1872 in Auburn, Kansas. Nina had arranged by her mom uh, to attend the Corcoran School of Art in Washington, D.C. And this is when she later gets married to this Englishman named Charles Allender. And just like her mom, there was like problems with her marriage, and it didn't work out for them, and they broke up, or divorced or whatever. Nina soon found opportunities in the federal government in the Treasury Department. Nina and Alice Paul faithfully met in 1913, and while reading it, I realized that when Nina and Alice Paul met up together, it's like the the wheels start turning more for Nina and her talent in cartoons, um, drawings, pretty much. Later, donating time and money to the suffrage cause together. Um, Alice Paul's legendary ability to get people to do things they hadn't planned to do. So this is 231. Um, if you go to 231, you go right down there. I like this part because I'm not wanting to say Alice Paul was like a god or anything, but she seemed like an angel. Like if she came at the right time for people, which is really nice to hear. Um, so Nina Allender Spotlight. Um, Nina Allender's cartoons, first drawing in 1914, the summer campaign, and then President Wilson says Godspeed to the cause. And on the other side, I just had like a few quotes that I took apart from the book. So, 232, Allender drew respectful portraits of women that were sympathetic to their new roles. And Mrs. Allender cartoons, more than any other one thing that in the newspapers of this country began to change the cartoonist ideas of a suffragist. As also 232, 234, she portrayed women positively, and so on. And 236, Allender cartoons often reinforce class and race and prejudice. So I just picked out these quotes because it showed what her ideal was for her work. Like, this are like spotlight moments that I got from the book that like highlighted what she was working on, what she did it for her cause. So Allender purpose in the ending. Division between the two wings of of the suffrage movement, and NAWSA signed the approach, and then NWP opposed it. The Anthony and Shaw suffrage amendment, Democratic controlled 64th Congress as a donkey, which a suffragist led to a crossroad. Soon the NAWS support drops for a revival constitutional amendment. Cartoonist work like Allender had less impact because of where it was published. Yeah, so and they were like published in just like the suffrage papers, not like broadcast anywhere further. Alright, so these are the questions. So 1, why are political cartoons less impactful? And where were the cartoons published mainly? When hearing and viewing Nina Allender work, number 2, when hearing and viewing Nina Allender work, what new type of presentation was she giving to suffragists? 3, after reading chapter 16, Cartooning with a Feminist Twist, what role does political cartooning play? 3 and 4, in what way do we see art helping to bring truth to society as Nina Allender worked? Okay, so these are my questions. I hope you guys have a great day and continue being safe. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.